love is this, oh my soul, my soul? What wondrous love is this, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this that caused the Lord of bliss to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, for my soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul.
Hello, Pastor Gavin here. Welcome to Old Testament Survey. And we're going to take a look at the book of Haggai. So the book of Haggai has 2 chapters, and it contains the prophecies and history of how the prophets stirred up the Jewish remnant that had returned from Babylon to resume and complete the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem, which had been neglected by them. So they were supposed to build it, they started, and then they quit, and he went to preach and stir them up to continue the work that God wanted them to do. So don't quit, was his message. And it was written like around 520 BC, somewhere in that time period. So there are 2 chapters, but if you divide it up into 4 different sections, the first segment would be Haggai's rebuke. So he's rebuking them. He's saying, hey, God's blessings have been withheld from you guys because you've neglected to rebuild the house of God. And that's what you guys are supposed to do. It's in chapter 1, verses 1 through 11. And then the next section is the people's obedience. So they heard what Haggai said, and they obeyed the word of the Lord, and they resumed the building of the temple. Then the third segment, begin with chapter 2, is Haggai's encouragement to them. And he told them, hey, the Lord's with them, and the latter temple will be greater than the former. And then the final section of the book in chapter 2, verses 10 through 23, Haggai's second rebuke and his encouragement. He said, hey, your disobedience brought chastening from God, but your obedience is going to bring blessing. So that's basically the thought and the gist of the book of Haggai. So if you'll recall the history, in 606 and 598 and 586 BC, the Babylonians launched 3 invasions into Judah. In 586 BC, they destroyed Jerusalem and the temple and took the Jewish people, most of them, captive to Babylon. But after 70 years, a remnant of the people returned, and they started to rebuild the temple. So that's the time period here. So in chapter 1, verse 2, it says, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, this people say the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built. And that's wrong. It was time. So then came the word of the Lord by Haggai, the prophet, saying, is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house lie waste? So think of it. They had nice houses that they rebuilt, but yet, the temple still lay in ruins, and they were supposed to rebuild it. So he says, therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. And he begins to talk about how God withheld his blessings from them because they were not doing what they were supposed to do. He said, you have sown much, you've planted a lot, and bring in little. You planted your crops, not much happened. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you are not filled with drink. You clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages put into a bag with holes. So thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build the house. And I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, saith the Lord. So he's trying to encourage them. And then in verse 12, then Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, the son of Josedek the high priest, with all the rest of the people, obeyed the voice of the Lord their God, and the words of Haggai the prophet, as the Lord their God had sent him, and the people did fear before the Lord. So they responded to the word of God. Hey, this is what God's saying through the prophet Haggai. We're going to get busy and get back to work and do what God says. And so it says, and the Lord stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, the governor of Judah, and the spirit of Joshua, and the spirit of all the remnant of the people. And they came and did work in the house of the Lord of hosts, their God. So the Lord stirred up those two leaders, Zerubbabel and Joshua, and he stirred up the spirit of the people. They came and they did the work. So he continues to encourage them. He says, be strong and work, saith the Lord, for I am with you. And so that's basically, in the end, he says this. Again, the word of the Lord came to Haggai in the 24th day of the month, saying, speak to Zerubbabel, the governor of Judah, and say, I will shake the heavens and the earth. I will overthrow the thrones of kingdoms and destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen, of the nations. I will overthrow the chariots, those that ride in them, and the horses, their riders shall come down, every one by the sword of his brother. And when will that ultimately be fulfilled? I think he's referring to the time of Christ. So it's just a word of encouragement. Hey, the same God that's going to shake heaven and earth is your God, and he's going to take care of you. You do what he tells you, and he'll bless you for it. So in a gist, that's Haggai and summarized. So feel free to join us in the after show, where we entertain certain questions and delve into more details. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, my soul? What wondrous love is this, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this? Here comes the Lord of bliss, to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, to bear the dreadful curse for my